A
Hey
warm
guys.
morning, evening, wherever you are. Thanks for giving us the time, and thanks, Chip, for hosting.
Okay, excellent. I'm Jose. Great to see you, and thank you for joining and sharing your just a tremendous experience. So I'm going to leave it to you guys, and I will come back in with questions.
Absolutely. So warm welcome to you, Jose, from the whole ecosystem community here. And what a fantastic, keynote from Mayank. He talked about the node as well as being a host, and Cisco is hosting some of the best ecosystem programs out there. So thank you for that. With that, let me first introduce Jose. Jose is VP, Vice President of Partner Performance and Operations at Cisco and Cisco's global partner organization. She's an executive leader responsible for managing and improving the daily business of Cisco partners, including their performance, tools, processes, and also operationally driving the success factors that are responsible for Cisco's growth. So warm welcome to you, Jose.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you have a fascinating background. I saw you're a Dutch native, you're a woman technology leader. I'm fascinated personally to know your personal journey as you head up the organization here. So tell us a little bit more.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've been with Cisco for over 24 years already. I can't believe it's almost 25 years already. I feel old, but it's been a fantastic journey. I have to say that. But my last job here at Cisco is, I have to say, one of the best jobs that I've had. As you said, we are responsible with our partners to simplify, digitize, personalize, everything what Maya just said is absolutely something that we're so important for our roadmap. We want to bring together the one partner view, enabling Cisco field and partners to sell together for the best benefits for our customers. And of course, we want to advance Cisco's transformation by elevating the organization-wide importance of the partner go-to-market and the routes to market. Oliver, my boss, he always talks about, perform and transform. Mm-hmm. And that's what my team is trying to do. Like, how do we make that happen? In my previous roles at Cisco, but I have to say, again, the role that I have today is the best role that I have. I get to work with partners like you guys. But previously, I've been in the customer experience organization, driving that transformation office. I've been in the office of the CTO, been in marketing, been in the, I never done engineering, so I went for a while in service provider engineering. But also, Cisco is giving us the opportunity to drive a lot of different international experience and influence as well. We moved to Asia Pacific for a couple of years, where I was responsible for driving a decentralized operations organization between what we have in India, China, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, and Australia. We've done, for a while, Cisco was very much in boards and councils, and I was responsible for driving this operationally for the BRICM countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and Mexico. And I'm actually back again in Mexico doing a big project there. And then one of the other things that was, I think, one of the biggest challenges that I've ever led, like Cisco, we had this challenge with regards to international expansion and how to set up entities. And, normal entities took between 3 and 5 years. And Cisco asked me to do like 26 entities in 9 months. Wow. So it was kind of a big challenge. We managed it, great team. But yeah, and before that, kind of funny, because like you said, I'm Dutch. I never worked for a Dutch company before. I worked for Apple for 5 years, and I worked for Texas Instruments for 5 years. So I guess I like the American companies.
And I've been noticing this about, modern ecosystem leaders, very well-rounded in terms of wide-ranging experiences in different functions and different regions of the world and cultures. And this is fascinating to see how well-rounded some of the ecosystem leaders like yourself are. So those of you listening out there, get functional experience everywhere and, possibly around the world. And that gets you to a great partnering role. That's fascinating. Of course, now let's pivot to the Cisco context a little bit. Before we get to the partnering side of the equation, I'm also fascinated about Cisco's journey from hardware to software, and especially to the cloud, right? Cloud first. Yep. Can you describe a bit of this transformation? What does it feel internally, from that vision point of view?
How it feels? Well, it feels like a long journey, and it feels like a journey that is absolutely needed. Because in this journey, and it is a big shift, of course, for Cisco from this hardware to software to recurring and everything like that. But we have to align to our customer priorities. And within the customer priorities, it's all about reimagining the applications. How do we power the hybrid work, especially now in today's world with COVID being there? You know, you saw it in all the videos that you guys were just showing. Everybody's working from home. So how do you power this hybrid work between office, between home? And with that, of course, securing the business networks, business operations, extremely incredibly important. And then, of course, in this whole cloud change, you see that the transforming of the infrastructure is super important as well. Now, to your point, we cannot do this without our partners. You know, at Cisco, we have about 90% of our work going through the partners. And it's not that they just move the business, but what our partners are super important for is like, how do they define the new experience that customers did not know that are possible? You know, everything about the ecosystem that you just mentioned. How do we drive more engagement by aligning to the way that customers can consume all of these goods and services? And then, of course, delivering the greatest service, greater value by focusing on the entire customer lifecycle. That is something that is super important. And I think Cisco has introduced a number of innovations that increase agility as well as business resiliency. The Cisco Connected Experience, for example, brings together our platforms, portfolio, experience, so that we can accelerate this all into a partner digital journey, respond and adapt to the business solutions, and of course, transforming the operating model. So that's it in a nutshell. Not an easy journey, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and certainly a lot of hard work. And what fascinated me about that answer was that the customers are at the center, and together with you and your partners coming together with simplicity and agility and, you know, customer centeredness to kind of get something out there. And having said that, simplicity is not easy to achieve, right? And you at Cisco have led a massive effort from going from hundreds, probably thousands of tools down to a few that you've chosen. How did you manage that, and what's been the journey like internally for that?
Yeah, it's been an interesting one. So I've been in this job now for almost 3 years. And actually it started when I just started in the role. I asked for like, okay, so when I'm going in front of partners, what are they going to tell me? Like which tools are they using? And I got some weird looks, and people go like, yeah, we got a couple of tools. And I say, well, so what's a couple? Well, we actually stopped counting at 172, to be honest. So then I thought, like, this ain't gonna work, because all of these tools were in silos, they were not working together. So then we said, like, okay, let's make sure that we listen to our partners, knowing what our partners want, knowing what they use, what do they need on a daily basis. So the tool journey started with that analysis of what do we have, what do we use, how is it being used, where are the gaps, and what actually is helping our partners, because that's one of the things that I'm responsible for. How can we, not making it easy, but how can we make sure that they're actually making money? I mean, because the more time and productivity loss there is in these kind of the tools that they're using, that means that they're not spending it on really selling Cisco, right? So it wasn't an easy lift and shift. So we make sure that we created one platform that we call the Partner Experience Platform. People who know me get really bored of me because I talk about it all the time. But I want to make sure that in that PXP, we really make sure that we improve the end-to-end partner experience. And I think we've come a long way. We still have a lot to do. But the good thing is partners have been with us on this entire journey with regards to creating tools, testing tools, making sure that, you know, they co-develop with us. We do a voice of the partner survey on a regular basis, which is helping us to drive even more improvements. And the last survey showed an increase in the score, which I'm really happy about. But they also told us where they want to have more focus. And I think we're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. But yeah, it's been interesting to see what our partners want and how we listen, and making sure, of course, international. I mean, this cannot be only for the US or for Asia or for Europe. Want to make sure that it's a complete successful ride with the market transition in each of the regions, and arming our partners with all of the information that they need proactively, but also not only proactively. And this is why it was so important for me to say, like, we cannot have this stovepipe of tools. We got to have these tools working together into one platform. And that's where, the data, I always compare it to a house. A house has a foundation. That's the part of data that we have. And then a house has doors, and all these doors need to be connected. And those are the different tools that we have in there. And when we use AI and ML and AI, then we, the power of these connected tools, we can push out information to our partners. We can tell them, like, hey, focus on this. Here's an opportunity. Here's where you are with your renewals, anything like that. So yeah, it's been quite interesting, but a good journey so far. I'm very passionate about it, as you can tell.
Absolutely. And from this consolidation, you probably funded the transformation as well. That would have been a massive savings back as well, right?
Oh, our IT friends are pretty happy, I can tell you.
Fantastic. So let's talk about this ecosystem flywheel and journey that you talk, instead of, stovepipes, kind of thinking about end-to-end processes. And in that you've looked at the partner journey as they build, as they market, as they sell, and as they co-invest back into the relationship in terms of going horizontal. So I want to explore these with you. First, maybe at the highest level, what do you think about the ecosystem flywheel as a concept, and how Cisco is utilizing it today?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's super important that we deliver an integrated experience to all of our partners that brings together basically the power of ecosystem selling to the market. And you mentioned the different codes already. I think we have 4 codes. So co-building, that will help us to increase the velocity with which we bring new innovative solutions to the market. Always, of course, in Dutch we have this saying, standing still is going backwards. So constantly building and bringing that innovation to the market, super important. The co-investment is needed, I think, for resources to capture the market. The next co is the co-market, of course, where we can co-develop demand for these solutions jointly with our partners. And then finally, of course, the co-selling. And that really unleashes the power of the ecosystem selling by bringing together the different partners across the ecosystem to create that collaborative selling motion. And I think if we do that, because the whole power of co-selling is, of course, that you have a size of the pie, you can bring that size bigger, and then you make the deal size bigger as well. And that actually, that simple integrated experience will help us to scale quickly.
Absolutely. So let's double click on some of these cores, right? So let's start with co-invest. Cisco Connected Development Funds is your initiative to kind of centralize across 20 different tools and hundreds of programs into one common framework with WorkSpan. So what motivated this change, and why did you get so passionate about this?
Yeah, you guys have been with us from the beginning. It took us a long time. I have to say, a little bit long time to go. Like, okay, what is it that we're really trying to resolve, and what is it how we can help our partners best? And it is one of the projects within this called PXP, the Partner Experience, that I am most excited about the opportunities, because it's been so hard for our partners. I mean, 7 different tools, 11 different platforms, cost, compliance, business impact, totally not measured. And I know this sounds really silly for a company like Cisco, but not measuring the business outcome was kind of not good. But we had a massively leaking bucket because of that. And of course, our friends in compliance were not too happy about that. So we have a really big, I think we have a really big connected development budget. And to make sure that these budgets are being optimally used are essential for helping our partners to basically develop more. And with development more business, you get more business. That comes the profitability in again. the business models are evolving so rapidly, and we need to have that agility to configure funds, launch quickly, and the connected development funds are critical to help our partners to build these kind of mature practices. Simplicity, consistency, key and a big gap where they are today. You guys are helping us big time with that, I have to say. I couldn't be more happy. So that whole consolidation into one single platform also gives us the opportunity of analytics. I already mentioned, that the data foundation of analytics. So now we can measure the return on investments, and also, more important, make rapid decisions to make sure, like, are we moving in the right direction? Do we go left, right? Do we get the bang on buck, and do our partners get the bang on buck?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the agility with which you can launch net new programs, looking at what the customer demand is magical. Also with the insight and the analytics that you're getting from them. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about co-sell. And before we get to one of the most innovative things you've tried, which is the three-way, I want to talk about the two-way co-sell. Question is why you always, Cisco is a powerhouse in terms of reselling. 90% of your revenue goes through a reseller network, right? But why did you feel the need for co-sell alongside traditional resell, combining Salesforce with Workspan, for example?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. I mean, bottom line, resell is core. Will still be core, will always be core. However, the opportunity to expand, create new opportunities, that's what we can do with this. So the market today, I mentioned this a couple of times already, the market today is focused on customer value. Mm-hmm. And providing that exceptional value to our customers is key to winning and expanding that business. Talking about the pie, making it bigger. If we do it in a traditional way, like I said, traditional resale will continue to be our core. However, the new possibilities are there to complement these resale. If co-sell is being done right, it gives our resellers the opportunity to tap into complementary skills and solutions that are completely open the line of business wallets within the customers, of course. The solution selling always almost has multiple facets of the deal size, and it creates relevance into that customer account that we're looking for. And that will help the budget decision makers, of course, to say, like, okay, we have this complete solution rather than snippets of the solution. So we see an immense opportunity, I have to say, for Cisco and the resellers to basically win through co-selling. And if I can give you one example, because of course examples are always the best. Grocery retail. I mean, there's a solution provided in unified communications, contact center, customer experience. What else? Created e-commerce, self-service, and other in-store services. This whole Cisco co-sell, we won that deal, has been with, let me see, like at least 5 or 6 different co-sell opportunities within there, like Nuance, Google Cloud, Calabrio, you mentioned it. I mean, and together, looking at the deal, it's been won. So this is a deal what we normally would never have looked at in this way. So it definitely helps to open up new innovative solutions.
Absolutely. And, talking to Julia, Akbar, and Sean, the leaders in your team who are driving this initiative, the way they have looked at new ISV partners, accessing new buying centers, and combining that with your traditional sense and augmenting that model is exactly what the retail experience was talking about.
Yeah, and I have to say, Akbar has no shortage of new ideas. I have to say, that guy comes up with new innovation every day.
Fantastic. Now let's talk about the three-way. So you've got this collaboration going on with ISVs and GSIs on the ecosystem side, but you want to close the loop with the channel. And
yes.
Amongst the practitioners here, let's be candid. Not many companies have done partner to partner well. So how have you thought about partner to partner, and what's the direction you're taking that?
Yeah, it is indeed a new way for us. And what I like about it, and again, in innovation, we are going to use the power of artificial intelligence to make sure to take the successes, experiences and engagements, and basically, and this is going to be, it sounds like a crystal ball, I know, but with AI, we're going to make sure that we predict which partners and solutions can win into a customer segment and then push that out. So these insights help our resellers then to understand where they can expand business with strategic ecosystem partnerships. And this is the alignment to the first step. So we're talking, we're targeting loads of enablement materials, learning paths, use cases, success stories, pump it all in to make sure that we reach the right audiences and build this practice maturity within Cisco and within our channel. And then, of course, we leverage then with WorkSpan, the platform, to coordinate those selling motions across Cisco, reseller, eco-seller, system partner sellers. So I think this is going to be super fun, I have to say. I mentioned already the house and the connected doors. Yeah. So let me give you one more example. In PXP, in the platform, what these guys have to do is create an integrated partner plan. If we see from one partner that they want to focus on this opportunity, and then we use the power of AI again and bring it through the WorkSpan platform, we can push out even more opportunities because we have those insights right now.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think as a channel partner, if I'm looking at it, it's not just Cisco. I'm able to expand the deal size by adding in Cisco aligned ISV partners, and then also offering a more complete solution to my customer, right? And that gets to buying centers, not only in IT with the CIO side of the house, but you could do chief medical officers or heads of operations and things like that. So fantastic. Exactly. Yeah, and with so many new things happening in Cisco, you're centralizing with Cisco Connected Development Funds and doing co-sell with partners like AWS and Microsoft, but also closing it with the channel partners with P2P. I'm scared to ask, but where are you headed next in terms of what next is happening in terms of ecosystem innovation?
Yeah, we do have a lot of fun doing this. I have to say that, and of course, we gotta finish on the connected development funds. We gotta finish off on cross-selling. We're at the beginning of the journey, but there will be a lot of focus on the ecosystem partners and routes to market, cycle time, all of that kind of stuff. What we are very much focused on as well, and our next speaker from Wipro, I cannot thank Wipro enough as well, because they've been very much embracing everything that we do. We have a platform called Black Belt. It's a online training platform that is consolidated into PXP again, which gives everything what a partner needs to know within all of the different personas on everything they need to know about Cisco. Now, Wipro, for example, they're embracing a full academy and skills development, education. And I think that with partners like Wipro embracing things like a Black Belt platform, so much where we can expand the knowledge, the more knowledge that we have within our partners. And then again, when we look at, for example, cross-selling, we know that there's going to be massive amount of opportunities. So that's what we will be looking at more.
Absolutely. And I think with this knowledge transfer with Black Belts, the amount of co-building in the ecosystem is growing, and the programs that Sherry Caldwell and team driving co-build efforts and centralizing that's also awesome to see. So more such partner developed IP, and we are going to hear from Jyoti right after on this experience as well. So that would be well-rounded. I have one last question before we open up to audience questions. You are an inspiring leader for all of us here in the ecosystem community. We want to grow up to be you. So what advice do you have for aspiring partner managers who are just about getting into leadership roles in various companies?
Well, first of all, thank you. Not very sure inspiring to be me, but oh gosh, what I would like to say. So first of all, I think you need to be credible and relevant to your stakeholders. Make sure you know the business from a 360 perspective. You got to understand, especially when you go into the partner space, understand where partners are coming from, because I see it too often, especially, also in a company like Cisco. We're a big company, you sit at corporate and you think, that was for me the thing, your point with regards to the international experience. You think you know everything what you need to know, but once you move to a different country, to a different partner, the world is opening up. I can tell you that. So understanding where the partners are coming from, and the relations that you build will serve you for a lifetime. And then, from a more practical perspective, my kids hate it, but I'm a planner. I look at each minute of the day. I want to know, like, what are we doing? How are we doing it? But focus is super important. I used to work for Maria Martinez in the customer experience team. And from Salesforce, she brought in the V2MOM framework, making sure that you know what your vision is, your value, the method, your initiatives, your obstacles, and your measurements. And I really use that V2MOM in order to say, like, okay, what am I spending my day on? I mean, if it's not part of anything that's in the V2MOM, then why are we doing this? Because especially in our vision, you can see that the focus is on the partners, the focus is on digitization and helping our partners to move to the next level, perform and transform. If it's not in there, we shouldn't be focusing on it. We shouldn't be doing it. So basically, that's how we do it.
Awesome. You heard it, folks. Be relevant and be focused. So that's the key to leadership. With that, Chip, can I invite you back to ask a few questions? Either the folks have put in the chat line, or if people have hand raises, go ahead, please.
Yes, yeah. Excellent. Thank you, guys. Both of you really loved your your energy, and Jose, thank you for sharing so many great ideas. We do have some questions, but I also want to encourage anyone to raise their hand and we'll open up your mic. Love to hear the questions live. But in the meantime, we have a few questions. So one question that was asked in the chat is from Shiva Kara, and Shiva says, thank you for sharing about Cisco transformation. Can you please share the challenges that you see partners and the partner account managers supporting them are facing in driving up sales as Cisco is pivoting to X as a service revenue models?
Yeah, excellent question. Actually, I'm running another project that is going simultaneously, because to the point with regards to the PAMs, when we started the whole PXP platform, you think that, especially our PAMs, like, what are they focusing on? And when they're focusing too much of that daytime on operational issues, how much money have the partners spent on, XYZ? How much are they investing into different architectures? All that kind of stuff. PAMs should have that information on their fingertips. So we have what we created a year and a half ago, and we're updating it actually today already, is what is the PAM blueprint? What should a PAM in each of the region be doing, and driving that global consistency as well? Not as easy, because indeed towards the challenges, there's a lot of skill set that you need to enhance. Hence, that's why black belt is so incredibly important as well. But also, I mean, people in general don't like change. And here we come and say, like, hey, of the 172 tools that we're going to just move 50% out of it, which we actually achieved already, thanks to my team. And so that kind of changed the tools that they know, the path that they need to follow, even though, with PXP, it's a single platform, single sign-on. It looks and feels differently. So a lot of change management and habits have to change, for sure. Great question.
So awesome. Thank you, Jose. Along those lines, another question, this one from Rob Thomas, who says, how receptive were partners to take the journey with you, moving from existing tools to newer ones? I guess maybe you just answered that, but any best practices that you could share on how you built the business case for that as well?
Yeah, the business case was an interesting one, because people want to see, like, in a business case, you have an ROI, like how much incremental business are you moving through? And to be honest, I always think that's a little bit of a, can I say BS number? Because, it's an operational platform. It is something that the efficiency of people, and how do you measure then the efficiency of people in return to business, right? So yes, you can put a stamp on the efficiencies and everything like that, but especially, and that's why we put in actually in Black Belt, we have like different phases to go through. In the last phase, people come back with a real deal that they won because of going through Black Belt. The way that the change management with the partners was actually pretty easy, I would almost say, because when you have like so many tools with so many different logins with, where people have to just search for information, and then you say like, hey, this is our vision, partners embrace it. And what we did, we have a partner operational advisory board, as we call it, and I pitched the ideas. Our partners came back with a lot of different ideas what they wanted. We had about 50 to 60 partners actively engaged on a daily basis for co-design, co-develop, and test. So when we went live, it went like easy. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I was waiting every day for the P1s to come up, to be honest, and they never came up. So I know that our IT teams and the business development teams did a fantastic job, but thanks to the partners and their testing, it went pretty smooth.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. I know those days and evenings are pretty nail biting, right?
Oh yes, the whole weekend.
Yeah. If I see a question from Michaela here, wonder if she wants to ask or.
Yeah, Michaela Negri asks, Jose, building on your experience from customer success, how does this transfer to partner success? Do you have a partner success initiative?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, when this whole blueprint actually for the PAM blueprint came from the customer experience as well, because when we were in customer experience, we were adding on customer experience managers, renew managers, and that kind of stuff. So the role of the AM was changing as well. We did then the same thing for the PAM, and what is their blueprint? And the other part, which is an incredible important point for us as well, one of the doors in the house is PX Cloud, and PX Cloud opens up to everything from a partner experience. So how we envision it for our customers, we have CX Cloud that is from Cisco to the customer. PX Cloud is then from the partner to the customer. So with PXP front door, it's from Cisco to the partner. Open up the next door, you go from PX Cloud to their partners, and that will give them the full insight into, we call it the racetrack, the life cycle, from adoption to implementation to renewal. Everything is there, what they need to find within the customer life cycle. So it's, again, all connected.
Yeah, and absolutely. With the cloud and the subscription business, the renewal cycles are equally important where partners have that end customer.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I know there has been a lot more questions, Chip, but why don't we take this moment and thank Jose for all the time and insights. We will love to have you back and speak to the community at a later time as well. So please join me in thanking Jose.
Thank you very much. And it was a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose.